Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this lovely Friday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Diana Master. In the news tonight, the Legal Assistance Centre has taken Recon Africa and the government to court, and the case was to start before acting judge Essie Shimming Chase today, but has now been postponed to next week, Wednesday, 13 July. Here, LAC Project Coordinator for Land, Environment and Development, lawyer Corina van Wyk, explains why. Let's take a look.
We wrote an urgent application in order to stay the activities that Recon has undertaken under the amended ECC. The last respondent has just filed their opposing papers like 10 minutes before court started, and I must say that it's a bulky lot of reading and the court hasn't been able to read through everything. It is for our own benefit that the court comes prepared. So the court has requested us to postpone the matter till Wednesday for her to obviously get acquainted with the information, with all the issues. And then once we come back on Wednesday, there are some preliminary issues that the respondents raised, whether the matter is urgent, so that will be heard first. And then the court will decide on whether the applicants have a locus to bring the matter to court. And then the court has to decide on whether it's got jurisdiction to hear the matter. And then lastly, an exception has been raised. So the court first has to determine all these preliminary issues, and then when the merit comes, we'll probably have to postpone the matter. But if the court finds that it's urgent enough, then the court will deal with it on an urgent basis.
Angola's former president Jose Eduardo dos Santos has died aged 79, the Angolan presidency said on Facebook earlier on Friday. Dos Santos was Angola's second president, taking over from Augusto Neto in 1979. He ruled Angola until 2017, where he was replaced by João Lourenço. Now, community activist Sethi Garissab pleads with Minister of Urban and Rural Development Erastus Uthoni to intervene and bring development and services to informal settlements in Okahanja. Residents of informal settlements in the former Garden Town put their meager resources together to hire a bus and come to Windhoek in the hope of finding answers and having their concerns addressed. Amongst others, they are tired of being called illegals in their own country and ask for lease, hold or ownership of their plots, storage services, electricity supply and basic municipal services. Garissab says repeated attempts to get help from Okahanja's political leadership have proved in vain. Let's take a look at this video.
We didn't come here for unreasonable, but we came here, we read several. I'm even here. I think I also attached there. We just kept accumulating letters. And every year we just repeating same story. I also grew up. Also, number one was standing there. I was a small boy, but today it's not having ownership. And we just vote. They come for 5 years, they go, we vote again. Other people, they come and they go, and we are really tired. So we decided we must come to the minister, and we want answers. We were having a petition, I think last month, but they never answered us. What those guys are doing, to be honest, is they just politicking around. One guy come and make meeting with other people, the other parties coming and make another party. They just politicking around. They're not working. It's time to give service, but they are politicking, and we are tired for that.
No politicking in terms of land is not a good thing.
And that's why we don't respect them, because how can the elders sit in the river bank? How will I respect if I allowed my elders to sit in the river bank?
Okay. Thank you very much.
A discussion last night on graduate youth unemployment quickly turned into a discussion on the Order With Me goods that were allegedly destroyed by the Namibian Revenue Agency. Mr. Stephen Darokoze, the spokesperson of NAMRA, used the opportunity to inform the audience on the false narrative that was spread about the destruction of counterfeited goods on the 10th of May. He further addresses the issues that claims NAMRA was not responsive or available for comment regarding issues related to NAMRA. Jeanette Diergaard has more.
At a discussion of graduate unemployment, Stephen Dorokade from NAMRA attended the event to address issues on trade. The conversation quickly headed into the Order With Me goods that was apparently confiscated on 10th of May. Dorokade further explained that the goods destroyed were not the Order With Me goods that the public claims it was, and that if the public has any evidence, they should bring that forward and they will look into it.
If you have evidence to show that amongst the things that were destroyed on the 10th of May were things of people operating in the space of Order With Me, please present that. But what I can dismiss now without any fear of contradiction is the narrative being advanced to say the target, the main group, was that group. And I'm saying to you now that that is flawed. There was no fire on that day burning these things.
After the break, we get into our community news, and tonight we look at the culinary food journey at Droombos. Stay with us.
In Business 7, you get news on current economic, financial, and business matters in Namibia. The weekly show features interviews with experts and in-depth analysis of burning issues in a way that caters for ordinary Namibians and business connoisseurs alike. We crunch the numbers that matter, decipher statistics that shape Namibian lives, discuss smart money, and explore the impact of global development locally. Money makes the world go round, so catch us on NTV, OneUp2.com, and the Facebook platforms of the Namibian Sun, Republikane, Algemeine Zeitung, and Namibia Media Holdings. For news-related or advertising queries, please contact B7 at synergy.com.na.
Getting into our community news, come wine and dine while Droombos takes you on an incredibly unique cuisine journey for the next 3 months. Yolanda Nell has more.
For all the foodies and wine and gin lovers out there, don't move a muscle. I am talking to Miranda van der Merwe of Droombos about the Travel with Droombos event that is currently underway and will be available for the next 3 months at their premises. So, if you like the idea of Moroccan food here in the heart of Windhoek, as well as some French cuisine, then go make a turn at Droombos. For those who enjoy the finer things in life, like a good wine and a lekker gin, then stay tuned, because they also have that sorted.
Maar die hele idee op die ou end van die dag was, ek werk baie nou saam met Chris, Dik Gerook Chris. En Chris het met die idee gekom verlede jaar, maar hoekom doen ons nie die around the world nie? En hierdie ding het nou maar net aangegaan. Ja, so hierso probeer ons iets nuuts skep vir die mense in Windhoek, excitement, wat is trendy, wat is nuut in die wêreld? Want alles is nie beskikbaar hier nie, maar jy sien alles op social media, jy kan dit op die internet sien, maar ons is so beperk in terme van dit wat hier is. So dis wat ons maar probeer doen, is om excitement en nuwe idees vir mense te bring.
Is hierdie items op julle spyskaart vir middagete of net vir aandete?
Vir middagete en aandete.
Okay, wonderlik. En kan jy vir my die datums gee van wanneer wat plaasvind?
Ja, ons het die Moroccan is op die oomblik aan die gang. En ek net vir jou gou hierso, die Moroccan is van die 5de tot die 24ste Julie. Die Marrakesh menu. En dan het ons Marie Antoinette, wat 14 Augustus tot 4 September is, en die Nordic Islands, wat 25 Julie tot 13 Augustus is. En daarna gaan ons besluit, gaan ons aangaan met ander lande, of gaan ons iets anders te doen, totaal en al iets anders. Ons het die Sondag het ons nou ook ons Wine and Gin July, wat ons elke Sondag hier buitekant op die Grasperk vir mense, dis of 'n set menu of ons à la carte menu, maar dit is 'n geleentheid waar jy nie in die restaurant sit nie, maar letterlik in die tuin sit, en dis meer vir families ook. Ja. Dis lekker vir die kinders hardloop rond en hulle speel terwyl die ouers sit en
bietjie gin drink.
Ja, bietjie gin drink en 'n bietjie wyn drink.
Dis ook nodig.
Ja.
Now in our story of the day, we look at the shelters in the capital. But first, a quick ad break.
Africa Good Morning is a current affairs program that brings you the latest from Southern Africa and beyond. News, economics, sport, weather, interviews, and so much more. For any advertising or news-related queries, contact agm@synergy.com.na. Africa Good Morning, bringing Africa to you.
Now let's get into our story of the day. Yolanda now speaks to City of Windhoek spokesperson Lydia Amutenya on the homeless people still living at temporary shelters. Let's take a look at this video.
The City of Windhoek responded to questions asked 2 weeks ago regarding the temporary shelter that was set up due to COVID back in 2020 and where these 100 people have now created permanent homes for themselves. When asked if there are plans to relocate them, Lydia Amutenya, the spokesperson for the City of Windhoek, said that a plan to relocate or integrate them is long overdue. Hence, there are various stakeholders playing various roles with regards to the care of these people that need to be consulted to explore the right modality. These people have also various needs and backgrounds that need to be considered before they can be assisted or relocated. The role of the City of Windhoek through its social welfare section is to integrate them into community development programs and projects they are interested in. Thus far, 9 women have been involved in the Sewing Skills Development Project, and an allotment has been allotted to them to produce food, but only 5 were involved in the farming activities. It should also be noted, according to Lydia, that not everyone in this group is interested in these projects, as some started and never went back. While the city says there are 34 homeless adults and 15 young people at the Katatura Multipurpose Centre, they are not accounting for the 45 youth who lost their jobs due to COVID and a group of former SWAT-EF members who refused their offer from government. Except for the young people and children there are also 12 newborns. When asked if these group of people are taken care of in terms of the current cold we are experiencing, Lydia Amutenya said that this is a social responsibility from any individual organization willing to donate, and no specific agency is tasked with this responsibility. Most of their needs at the moment is food, cosmetics and blankets due to the cold. The mothers with newborns also struggle with milk and diapers. NTV recently spoke to a volunteer that helps out at the centre. According to the volunteer, the youth were previously accommodated at the Commando Hall at the so-called Herero Mall, but all of them lost their jobs during COVID and now they are struggling to get back on their feet. They are willing to work, but they are not finding any jobs. They don't want to stay here. According to her, they want to be able to support themselves. There are still a number of former Southwest African Territorial Force members on the premises refusing the offer from government. The volunteer added that government is willing to assist them while the rest on the same site is not receiving anything. 39 former SWAT-EF members took the offer in 2021, while 58 former members accepted the offer this year. Those remaining want more.
Now Zimbabwe is looking to introduce gold coins as the legal tender. This and more economic news coming right up after the break. Now getting into today's economic news, Zimbabwe Central Bank says it will start issuing gold coins as legal tender in late July as the country battles to control soaring inflation that has considerably weakened the local currency. The gold coin is named Mosiatunya after Victoria Falls and can be converted into cash according to the Apex Bank. The latest measure comes as the country's inflation rate more than doubled last month to 191%, bringing back memories of the hyperinflation of the 2000s that saw the Zimbabwean dollar redominated 3 times. The local currency would later be abandoned in 2009. Governor of the central bank, John Magunja, said in a statement that the gold coins will be available for sale to the public in both local currency and US dollars and other foreign currencies at a price based on the prevailing international price of gold and the cost of production. Now let's take a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at $16.91 to the US dollar and $17.20 to the euro. It trades at $20.32 to the pound and $2.52 by yuan, Chinese yuan. Copper is up with 4.02%, while zinc increased with 3.74%. Brent crude oil is trading at $104.80 per barrel. Now, after the break, we get into international news and we look at the untimely passing of the former Japanese Prime Minister. Stay with us.
The Evening Review is a daily interview-based talk show that dissects and expounds on current affairs as they occur in Namibia. The show aims at reaching Namibians of all age groups who seek better understanding of the state of current affairs in the country. This show is broadcasted on NTV, oneup2.com and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: Namibian Sun and Namibia Media Holdings. The Evening Review focuses on interviews, latest news and up-to-the-minute current events. Contact Evening at synergy.com.na. Evening Review, unpacking today's pertinent issues.
Japanese citizens were in shock on Friday after former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Japan's longest-serving leader, died after being shot while campaigning for a parliamentary election. Many were appalled that a shooting happened in mostly gun-free nation Japan. Abe was shot while giving a campaign speech on a street corner and taken to Nara Medical University by helicopter. The hospital announced his death on Friday and told reporters that the former Prime Minister suffered 2 neck wounds and was in cardiopulmonary arrest upon arrival at the hospital. This photo is courtesy of Reuters. Now, after the break, we take a look at the weather predictions. Stay with us.
My.NA Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest property-related products and services. If you would like to feature your brand or your campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Properties, more than just a roof over your head.
Just how cold is it going to be? Well, let's take a look at the weather predictions to find out. The temperature in Enana will reach a maximum of 33 degrees on Saturday, with Oshakati at 31 degrees. The minimum temperature in Mariental is 2 degrees with a maximum temperature of 24 degrees. Those in Gobabis should stay warm and cozy on Sunday with a minimum temperature of 3 degrees. Aranos will also be quite cold at 1 degree with a maximum of 22 degrees. After the break, we take a look at sports, and tonight we talk about the future of netball.
3, 2, 1.
We Talk brings you community news that lies at the heart of Windhoek residents. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact We Talk at synergy.com.na. You live, we talk.
Now let's take a look at the news headlining the sports scene. In preparation for compiling a candidature file with respect to the 36th Africa Cup of Nations in football, the Botswana and Namibia Bid Committee, Bona 2027, is commencing a status audit exercise for essential elements such as stadiums, hotels, airports, medical and broadcast facilities, amongst others. While the Confederation of African Football has yet to officially open the bid process and release guidelines, Bona 2027 is aware that as a minimum minimum, the successful hosts would have to provide at least 6 competition venues, up to 24 training venues, hundreds of good quality hotel rooms for teams and officials, good road and air network systems, international standard broadcast capability, and good health infrastructure, amongst others. It is against this backdrop that the audit is being carried out such that the Bona 2027 can continue advising the governments of Botswana and Namibia for planning purposes. In our next story, 15 new netball coaches received their coaching certificates after they completed and passed their basic examination test at Kisipmond Secondary School in Walvis Bay. The course, organized by Netball Namibia with the assistance of the Irongo Netball Association, served the purpose of helping aspiring coaches to gain knowledge and supporting their needs and enabling them to deliver professional netball experiences for players under their mentorship. The Namibian Navy sports officer and chairperson for the Irongo Netball Association, Charles Mukua, said the course enhanced the netball knowledge of the Namibian Defence Force members who completed it. Alistair Coetzee, head coach, expressed great relief and satisfaction after his Namibian rugby team convincingly broke down a stubborn Zimbabwe 34-19 on Wednesday night in Aix-en-Provence, France. Namibia and Kenya will take each other on in the decisive final of Rugby Africa's World Cup qualifying tournament on Sunday night. The winner will advance to the 2023 Rugby World Cup and will slot into Pool A, joining hosts France, 3-time champions New Zealand, Italy and Uruguay. The runner-up will get a very difficult second chance in the final qualifying tournament against the runner-ups of the other continents. Kenya has never qualified for the Rugby World Cup, while Namibia is determined to reach its 7th consecutive such event. After the break, we get into the highlights from today's broadcast, just in case you missed them.
Careers Bistro focuses on the movers and shakers in the corporate world. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact Zone at synergy.com.na.
You're watching Sunset News, and if you have just joined us, here are your news highlights. Angola's former president, José Eduardo dos Santos, has died aged 79, the Angolan presidency said on Facebook earlier on Friday. Dos Santos was Angola's second president, taking over from Augusto Neto in 1979. He ruled Angola until 2017, where he was replaced by João Lourenço. Zimbabwe's central bank says it will start issuing gold coins as legal tender in late July as the country battles to control soaring inflation that was considerably weakened the local currency. The gold coin is named Mosiatunya after Victoria Falls and can be converted into cash according to the Apex Bank. The latest measure comes as the country's inflation rate more than doubled last month to 191%, bringing back memories of the hyperinflation of the 2000s that saw the Zimbabwean dollar redenominated 3 times. The local currency would later be abandoned in 2009. Alistair Coetzee, head coach, expressed great relief and satisfaction after his Namibian rugby team convincingly broke down a stubborn Zimbabwe 34-19 on Wednesday night in Aix-en-Provence, France. Namibia and Kenya will take each other on in the decisive final of Rugby Africa's World Cup qualifying tournament on Sunday night. The winner will advance to the 2023 Rugby World Cup and will slot into Pool A, joining hosts France, 3-time champions New Zealand, Italy and Uruguay. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook and on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 94 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.